Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
The other current asset account type tracks assets that your company expects to use up or convert into cash in the next year. Other current assets might include short-term notes receivable or prepaid expenses. Your inventory account is an example of an other current asset. Let's take a prepaid rent other current asset account as an example. Assume that you have signed an agreement to lease a new office space for $1,000 per month. Also assume that you needed to make a prepayment of 6 months' worth of rent before you could move into the new office space. If you are using the accrual accounting method, then you must attribute expense to the period it is incurred, not when you actually pay it. So you would not want to simply write a check for the next 6 months' worth of rent and then attribute the entire amount to the rent expense account for the month in which you wrote the check, as that will not accurately reflect when the rent expense is actually incurred. Instead, you can use the other current asset account of prepaid rent to help you show the rent expense as it is actually incurred. To do this, you simply open the Write Checks window when the first payment is due by selecting Banking from the menu bar and then the Write Checks command. Then enter the amount of the payment of $6,000 and select the landlord as the vendor. On the Expenses tab, you can then select the Prepaid Rent Other Current Asset account. Now in the Amount column, you can enter $5,000 for the account. This shows that $5,000 of the $6,000 payment is being traded to another asset account for the prepayment of that rent. Then click into the next row on the Expenses tab and select the Rent Expense account. QuickBooks should then attribute the remaining $1,000 to the account for the first month of rent as it is being incurred. For the next 5 months after this, you will not write a check for the rent, but rather create a general journal entry that decreases the amount within the Prepaid Rent Other Current Asset account by $1,000 and increases the amount of the Rent Expense account by $1,000 to show the other current asset being used up and to show the rent expense being incurred in the correct accounting period.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.